Dany is pathetic, and I don't think these scenes are going to go good for her. Because at the end of the day, Hayley's trying to kill that man. Meanwhile, Dany's acting like Bill's the prize when Bill has hurt her in her life over and over and over. What's up, Beyond the Gates fans? Happy Sunday. Here to look over the preview for this next week of episodes, the week of July 13th. Hoping for a better week than last. Last week was pretty boring as far as pretty much almost every single episode went. The video preview we're going to go over today doesn't necessarily look that exciting, but it looks a little better at least. We'll start with Bill in his hospital room with Naomi, Chelsea, Madison there. Chelsea saying they still don't know what's wrong with him. Naomi saying that they're just anxious and want to know what they're dealing with. I'm assuming Madison is tending to him, although Madison doesn't seem to be able to figure out what's been going on with Bill. I don't know if the poison is going to be found in his bloodstream or not. I don't know if even is the poison in the first place that is affecting Bill. One would assume, because Hayley has been poisoning this man for way too long on this show, and I feel like it's just finally maybe starting to take effect. But Bill also had that stroke in the past, so we don't know health-wise. It could have something to do with that as well. I'm just hoping what we get out of this is Bill and Hayley's storyline moving. Can it please move? I sure hope so. Next, we see Randy and Hayley talking and asking if she thinks that this is it. Hayley says this may be Bill finally knocking on death's door. So Hayley is assuming that this is the poison taking effect. You know, a lot of you have speculated that maybe Randy was never really giving Hayley poison in the first place. But if Bill's having this effect and things are starting to go wrong for him, I have to assume that the poison has something to do with it. Again, I'll say though, hopefully this is the story moving along. Next, we have Tracy and Sharon seeing Anita. Both the other articulates are back this week. They say that Anita should celebrate kicking cancer's booty by joining them for a concert tour. Seems like a lot for Anita right after dealing with cancer, so I don't see her going on tour with them. I don't think this is going to lead to any exciting storyline. I don't think Sharon and Tracy as characters bring a storyline along with them. I kind of wish they would. I think it's time to move Anita or Vernon or both into a new story, because these writers will at least put time and effort into Anita's storylines. So I want Anita to get a new storyline, so maybe the writers could put effort into it. Let's just not have it be a health storyline, though. Dany is getting into it with Hayley in the preview, saying that Hayley doesn't get it by now, that Hayley appealed to Bill's basic instincts, but that he can never get over Dany and the life they shared. And Dany says that's what's really tearing Hayley up. Dany is looking so pathetic these days. The character now seeming to be obsessed with Bill again, falling back into Bill's web, because the gag is here, and it is a part of the storyline that I actually do enjoy, is that Dany is like in a competition with herself for Bill now when it comes to Hayley, because Hayley does not give one single fuck about that man. Hayley is trying to kill that man, but in Dany's eyes, she still sees Hayley as, you know, the homewrecker and the one that got Bill. And I feel like this kind of argument with Hayley next week is Dany still acting like Bill is the prize, but Bill is the man that cheated on her for years and apparently would probably still be doing it, and he's the one that ruined the marriage with Hayley, and here's Dany trying to take it out on Hayley again, but she's the one that looks pathetic. Dany is pathetic, and I don't think these scenes are going to go good for her, because at the end of the day, Hayley's trying to kill that man. Meanwhile, Dany's acting like Bill's the prize when Bill has hurt her in her life over and over and over. Last thing in the video preview is Ted upset that Leslie was getting flirty with him again. this is rinse and repeat for me. Eva's there hearing them argue and asking her mom what is going on. I feel like we've seen these kind of scenes between Ted and Leslie too much that I don't really want to see them again. And, Ted never stands on business when it comes to Leslie, so why are we just getting these repetitive scenes? Maybe this will be the time that he actually tries to stand on business, but somehow I doubt that. So that's the video preview. I do believe that over this next week, there's some interesting things that could happen between Deanna and Joey as well. It's not in the video preview, but I've seen another preview out there. But I'm on the fence with this Deanna storyline because it could really go in directions that annoy me. So I'm hoping for the best with it. We'll see if anything exciting happens with that story, because outside of something happening to Bill, that's kind of the other storyline right now where something exciting could possibly happen. Here's hoping something exciting happens. Let me go over some of your comments real quick. Cynthia Judkins said, Chelsea tried to warn Tomas, but he didn't listen. This is in regards to Tomas proposing to Kat right after she got out of the hospital, trying to put pressure on her again. And yes, Chelsea did try to warn Tomas. He didn't listen. He humiliated himself in front of her entire family. RRRTTT said, I'm so happy Kat turned down Nomas's rude proposal. Yay, she stood up for herself. Yes, I was happy about that too. I was very worried that Kat was going to say yes just to say yes, and she didn't. So that was a step in the right direction, and hopefully the beginning of the end of Kat and Tomas. Sable also said, so glad Kat said no. Me too. Devin said, no one ever gets angry on this show. We need someone to actually get pissed off and show some emotions. This is a great point, and this is why I've been saying for quite a while now that this show seems allergic to drama, because bad things happen, people lie. Most of the time, nobody gets angry enough. Jacob learning that Naomi lied to him for months or was keeping information from him, some very heavy information. I understand why he didn't get mad, because it's a health thing, but also it's a gene. Naomi doesn't actually have cancer right now, and yet still Jacob did not have that much of a realistic reaction to me. No anger whatsoever, just completely fine with it seems like. Ember's Callie said, I just couldn't believe that Tomas actually went over to Eva's pretending he was checking on his friend with his propped gift, which wasn't even needed since Isaiah got her the book already. I was here for the book shade though. Wanting relationship advice again because he feels dejected from Kat's rejection, but Eva let him know Eva is becoming the advisor when it comes to Kat, first their father, now Tomas. Kat wasn't ready to move in before. Then when she did, it was because she didn't want to live alone. Then after she rejects his proposal, now she wants to move in with him into a condo. This is one of the reasons their relationship is just so off. Well stated. One of many reasons the Kat and Tomas relationship is more than off and has always been. They've also just never had chemistry, which is why I can't believe this is a couple that has lasted a year or more. And you do make a good point that Eva is becoming the advisor to what to do with Kat, to how to deal with Kat, both with Ted and now with Tomas. Kathy said, these writers need to write better stories and put people together that have chemistry. Derek had that chemistry with the firefighter. Ashley is the one that doesn't have chemistry with any man on the show. Tomas and Kat need to end. Yeah, this show doesn't know how to put people with chemistry together, because Derek has had chemistry with the firefighter, with Shanice, never went there. Instead, they're always trying to make Ashley happen, and it never, ever works. I also agree that Tomas and Kat need to end, and they are another couple on the show that has never had chemistry. I feel like Eva and Isaiah have some, and they've done a better job of showing us how much Isaiah cares for Eva. So I guess that's one couple, other than Vernon and Anita. Marty B said, Kat and Tomas deserve each other. He's up here proposing when they never discuss marriage. and she's up here buying a condo for the both of them without discussing that with him first. The fact that he still has to go and discuss his issues with Eva first is all the reason Kat needs to end it with him. There's been no growth with his character since we first met him. Good point about Tomas not having growth. Obviously, we were never going to get emotional growth out of the robot that is Tomas. But there's been no storyline growth either. And maybe that is part of the reason why the Kat and Tomas relationship is circling the drain. I have been saying that I feel like the writers want them to seem like a realistic couple and they have realistic problems, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, this is still a TV show and a soap opera. And so can we just get them apart as soon as possible so that we can move Kat on to bigger and better things and maybe more dramatic things too? Laura Hudnell said, I really wanted to see Jacob get upset for a change. She went off on Derek for not telling Ashley that he had filling in his legs, and Jacob for not telling her. She does whatever, but if Jacob does something, the world is coming to an end. Shake my head. Ashley knew for months. Exactly. Because, yeah, when Derek could walk, Ashley and Naomi acted like that was a terrible thing because Derek kept that truth from Ashley. Here's Naomi doing the exact same thing over some kind of health thing, and Jacob can't react, or Jacob has no reaction, and the drama is stifled. I just question why this had to be a storyline in the first place. Like, I feel like these head writers think certain things are storylines just to like meet a quota, and it's like, where's the drama? That's what I'm gonna keep saying. Where is the drama? Big Bank New York said, Andre is a doormat, Jacob is a doormat, Ted is a wimp. Nice portrayals of manhood. Something I've been saying for a long time too with these two old women head writers. All of the men on this show always have to be weak or just really, 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 really stupid. There's really no in between. I feel like even some of the people that for a while seem to stand their ground, like the Bills, like the Joeys, they too are always giving in because of some sort of weakness that they have. I just have time for a couple more. Gonna keep it short this week because this show isn't really gaining my energy lately. LA214LA said, I couldn't agree more with you. They could have at least let Jacob be angry for a day or question their marriage. Stories should never end with a whimper. I'm hoping we get some drama tomorrow with them. If he just accepts her choice, there would have been no point to the story. Well, I've got some bad news. Jacob did in fact just accept her choice, meaning I agree, there was kind of no point to the story. Why did this story, this secret, take 6 months for Naomi to tell Jacob, only for it to end with a whimper? And again, I feel like they're going a realistic route. They want to go a realistic route with Naomi still concerned, maybe getting a double mastectomy. That's the direction they're going to go. But like, where is Jacob's point of view in the whole storyline? Last one, Vern Luxon said, ever since Dany slept with Bill, I am starting to dislike her character. She is attracted to a serial cheater that treated her like shit. And you are correct with that description of Dany. Like I said earlier with the preview, the fact that she is in a one-sided competition with Hayley, and yeah, she doesn't know this. She doesn't know that Hayley wants Bill dead. But like, again, it seems like they have Dany acting like Bill's the prize again. And they're starting to write this tension between her and Andre. They had an argument this past week, and I think that argument might continue this week. And I'm sure Dany's going to be around Bill this week with Bill in the hospital, which is probably why she's getting into it with Hayley. That's what Dany wants, though, I guess. I think we're not supposed to like Dany right now. Like, how could we? How could we have respect for Dany if she's going to be acting like this over Bill, who, like Vern Luxon said, she's attracted to a serial cheater that treated her like shit.